Take a few deep breaths and bring your awareness back to your body. Rub your palms together and keep them on your eyes whilst slowly opening your eyes. Today's topic is traveling light, the weight we carry, with our guest speaker, Nilo Del Monte. Nilo Del Monte is a multidisciplinary, inspirational artist and philanthropist based in Miami, Florida. Intentionally, through his art and offerings, he brings to the surface different topics that he manages to mix in a very interesting way, such as what it means for him to be a conscious and loving human being, personal growth, mindfulness, and spiritual development. For Nilo, being a conscious artist comes with the responsibility to leave the world better and to contribute positively to human evolution. With this, please join me in welcoming Nilo. Welcome, Nilo. Glad to have you here. The stage is all yours.
Hello, hello, hello. Namaskaram, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes. Amazing. I hope that everyone is having an amazing day and night. I would like a little bit to know where are you right now? If you could type on the chat, where are you right now? I would love to see that. Please. Canada, California, wow. UK, India, Qatar, Scotland, Sweden, New Jersey, Princeton, California, Bangalore, Mumbai. Wow, amazing. This is amazing. I am in Miami right now. So here is 10:49 a.m. But the important thing is that we are together here and now. My name is Nilo de Monte, and as your guide says, I'm a conscious multidisciplinary artist and teacher, and for me, it's a pleasure to be here with you all. Thank you, PSSM, for this invitation. Today, I would love to to have like a conversation about the weight that we carry and how we can travel light. Making our journey light means shedding all of the weight that makes our journey heavy. And this weight, the weight that I'm referring to, is most often unconscious. So it slows down and makes us tiring while we walk this path, this journey, and we don't know it. We don't realize it. For me, the process of releasing this weight, it's a process that can happen consciously. I'm all about conscious action. I'm all about conscious being conscious. So we need to first start by recognizing this weight, the weight that we are carrying. Then we need to bring awareness into ourselves to see and understand this weight. And then it's about giving ourselves permission to let go, to free ourselves from the burdens and move forward lighter and more open to new experiences. We're gonna explore all of this and the steps and how we do this. I'm just giving you an overview of how I see it and how I process it and how I teach it. First, let's start with what can be considered as weight, right? Because yeah, the weight, but it's like, okay, what kind of weight is it? Like, what do you mean? So it can be unresolved emotions, right? Feelings of anger, sadness, fear, guilt, shame that we have not processed yet or released. It can be past experiences, traumas, failures, negative experiences from the past, even past lives, that can weigh on our present if we haven't worked them out. It can also be limiting beliefs, beliefs about ourselves, others, or the world around us that limit us or prevent us from moving forward. And these can also be a form of baggage. It can also be toxic relationships, what we call toxic relationships, like relationship that drain us or cause us continuous stress. This can be significant weight in our everyday life. There is many people who is around us, and or we get around them that drain us for some reason, and these create weight because we ended up it's constant, right? Family members, friends. If we don't do something about this, we continually get this, and it feels heavy every time we go near this person. Not judgment here. It's just like understanding how everything is around us. Uh, so although this weight can sometimes seem invisible, its impact in our lives and in our experiences is very real. It often anchors us to where we are and prevents us from moving towards where we could be, where we want to be, or where we want to go, and we don't notice it. So how does this weight affect us? It holds us back. It makes us doubt of our abilities because we try, and we feel that we're not advancing. And then we ended up doubting of our abilities to walk in this journey. It prevents us from taking risks, and also it brings a lot of regrets from everything that we felt to do, right? So most importantly, it prevents us from fully living in the present. It feels like it robs out the joy of the here and now from ourselves. We all are meditators. We all are doing and being every day in the present moment. We are connecting with ourselves, with our breath. We're doing amazing conscious work. And even by doing this and not targeting all of these weights that are within us, it still affects us, you know? Because as we're gonna talk later about meditation, it's gonna be an amazing tool for this, but you still need to do something consciously, right? So, as I said, the first thing that we need to do is to recognize this way. It's recognizing the baggage that we are carrying and understanding how it's affecting you, how it's affecting me. And this can be really difficult because as, excuse me, as we often become some accustomed to our weight, we ended up not realizing that we're carrying because we are used to it. We don't remember when we acquire, we don't remember how we got this baggage. So we are used to walk. It's like having a backpack full of rocks since you were a very kid, and you don't see it, and you are walking and walking and walking, and this is the normal you. But once you release it, it's when you really feel like, oh wow, I was carrying so much, and now I have, not only I feel great, but I have space for what I really want to bring with me or create within me. So it's important that we reflect on our experiences and our emotions, and to be honest with ourselves about what we are carrying, because this can be a difficult and painful process, but it's a crucial step on the path to release it. One, we recognize it. One, once we name it, the true transformation begins. But we have to see it first. We have to understand it first, right? So how do we understand this way, right? I'm explaining everything, and of course we are gonna have to do something with everyone individually, to go inside and find that. But I'm just giving you the map and the overview of the process that I used, with my clients and with myself. Once that we have recognized our wave, this wave, the next step is to understand it. So where does this weight come from? Why are we carrying it? What role is it playing in my life? And to answer these questions, you need to be willing to look deeply within yourself and face whatever you find there. And as I said, this can be really uncomfortable. I keep repeating it because in my case, it was really painful. I come from a culture in which I grew up with a lot of shame about myself. I felt like I couldn't be me. I felt not accepted in my family, in my school, in my world, in my country, society. And this made me develop all of these trauma that I carry for so long. And I didn't know I was carrying it. So I'm talking from that space of having lived these experiences. It is painful. It can be really uncomfortable, but it's very necessary for a better self-understanding, for understanding better of who you are and freeing yourself from the burdens, right? So this weight doesn't appear overnight. It accumulates over time, and most of the time without us realizing it. Every little worry, every unresolved emotion, every limiting belief adds to the load we carry. And the longer we carry this weight, the heavier it becomes. It can have a significant impact in our lives, in our families, in our surroundings. It can limit our ability to move forward and achieve our goals. It can create stress and anxiety, affect our relationships, and decrease the quality of our lives. It can even manifest physically through muscle tension, exhaustion, and other health issues, not illnesses. Often, we can even notice when we see other people. Like sometimes we can see people and say, oh my God, this person is carrying a lot. It feels heavy, it feels dense, but it's very hard to do that to ourselves, right? We're gonna talk about this further today. So there is a very important aspect, uh, perhaps like a deeper layer to this task of making our journey lighter. It is understanding that all of these things have a deep root within us that needs to be found and understood to really effectively work through them. Otherwise, we are working on the surface and we will stay on the surface. Unresolved emotions, they have an origin. And if we don't work on the origin, on the root, we are not being effective. Let me give you an example. Shame. If I carry shame, I need to go to the root of the shame, of that shame, where it originated and why. I need to go back to my childhood and find the experiences that made me feel ashamed about myself, of myself, of being who I am, and consciously work through them, understanding that with understanding myself, without judgment, with love and self-compassion. And this is a work of a lifetime. This is not a work that you do in 1 week, in 1 month of fully going deep. It's a lifetime, because it's been years of carrying that, right? So this is very important to understand, because we are not to blame for the past experiences we lived and the way that we perceived our lives from a very young age. But we are 100% responsible for our lives now, and for doing the necessary work in ourselves that allow us to live the life that we want to live. It's all about owning that responsibility. The conscious responsibility of your life is in you, in me, in every one of us. So I want to ask you real quick, and I will ask you, let me see if I can put this to see the view of everyone. Gallery. Okay. Just raise your hand if you are conscious of a specific weight that you are carrying right now. It's okay if you're not. Okay. And for those who raise the hands, do you know where, or do you have an idea of where it comes from? Okay, perfect. So let me do an experiment with you. Are you okay if I do an experiment with you? Yeah? Okay. I love doing this for when I teach it. It's like so fun. I feel kid again doing this, like in school. Okay, so this is how you come to the world, right? This is how you come to the world. You come empty, full. You come complete, whole, full of life, clear, and you were born in a family. I will use myself and other experiences as example, right? But feel free to take your own experience. And then you come into your family, you're born, you're incarnated, and you are in a family, and you are very kid. And suddenly you start seeing your parents fight. So your innocence is full here, right? Innocence is full here. You start seeing the world, and you start realizing since a very young age, without even thinking, um, that the world is not as beautiful as you are, because you see your parents fighting. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put this here just to not make a mess here, and then you see your parents fighting continuously. So the innocence starts to go out of you. The wholeness, for some reason, starts to getting out. And as you continue to grow, you see your parents separate. They go through divorce, and then you feel guilty because you don't understand what's going on. You feel guilty that your parents divorced. It has to be because of you. For the mind of the kid, it's because of me. They divorced because of me, because I am the everything in between them. So you start growing like that. And then you see that you go to school and people start bullying you, and you start feeling bad. And all of this keeps going out of yourself, your innocence, your wholeness, your ability to see the beauty in everything start to be affected, because you're not seeing things and feeling things that are beautiful. And you grew up, and then you have your first relationship with a partner that betrays you, and then you feel betrayed and you feel bad and you don't want to know about it, and what I'm going to do, something has to be bad with me. And then this person lives your life and you keep growing on, and you find another partner and this partner abuse you. Boom. So throughout our lives, our first part of our life, our ability to be innocent and to keep ourselves whole as we came, is affected and is very, very, very repressed. It's like it's not anymore here. But at the same time that this is happening, just because I don't have a way to do everything at the same time, just understand that at the same time that this is going out of you, we have another guest in the house. Boom. This one. Okay. I'm gonna put this back. So you're empty. You ended up at empty. At the same time, you start developing, as I said before, guilt. And this is something that it was not within you when you came here. This is something that you created and acquired, right? So guilt because your parents separated. Boom. And guilt and shame because you were bullied in school and you don't understand what's going on. And then you felt really bad and angry because your partner betrayed you when you were an adolescent. All of these emotions, the time of your emotional arousal. So it's like, oh my God, I'm so angry at this person. How could she or he betray me? And then you cry and you feel bad and you don't want to know anything about this. And then you find another partner that abused you and told you bad words, and you are acquiring all of these energies and emotions that are very heavy and dark within yourself. And we ended up, boom, full of this, right? So I want you to look at this. This is a vessel that has a lot of heaviness and darkness within. Darkness and heaviness that it has acquired from a very early childhood to adultness. And it continues to grow. This is just an example. We're continuing to experience that. So if we think this is a human being which has eyes, the eyes always look outside. The two physical eyes always look outside. It cannot see itself. It cannot see all of this. These can only be seen in perspective, like I am towards the vessel. But when you are this, you're not seeing everything that is inside of you, right? So what this means is that we are not seeing everything that is inside of us. We may feel certain things, but we're not seeing all. And it's very important that we understand that we might be carrying stuff, even if we don't see it now, that is affecting us, that is affecting our well-being, that is affecting our peace. Once that we have recognized and understood this way, we can begin to work to release it, and these can involve emotional healing work, changing limiting beliefs, resolving past issues, creating healthy boundaries in our relationships. It's a process that requires time and effort, but the reward, it's a lighter and freer life. To release it, we must first understand why we want to release it. Freeing ourselves from these burdens open the door to a fulfilling life, to a happy life, healthier relationships, stronger self-esteem, and genuine inner peace. Releasing doesn't mean forgetting. I remember my shame. I remember with all of my heart how I felt when I was a child, and I felt rejected every day, and I didn't want to go to school. or go out because I know I will be judged. I remember. So this doesn't mean forgetting, but this means learning and allowing ourselves to move forward past it, not having that to control my life, not having that shame controlling my life. Understand that I am whole, I am complete, I am perfect, I am. And every day I do the work that I need to do to not feel shame about myself, but to feel proud and great about who I am. All this work, and you guys too, you're doing amazing work every day. So there are many techniques and practices that can help, but all of them, all of this practice, all of the technique requires one thing: the willingness to let go. You have to be willing. Letting go means allowing ourselves to feel these emotions that's been inside of us for so long, and we are being avoiding it to the point that we don't even see them anymore. We don't know that it's there. And instead of repressing them, feel it. It means processing our past and our past experiences instead of ignoring them, and challenging the negative thoughts instead of accepting them as a truth. Perhaps most important, it means forgiving ourselves and others for not knowing, for not having the tools to do this work, right? So, meditation and contemplation are incredible tools to find consciously and understanding this way that is inside of us and we haven't been able to see before, where it comes from, and consciously choosing to free ourselves from it. You know, um, before I share another tool, I want to go back to this experiment and show you this. I want you to look at this. So this is how we came. This is how we came to this world when we incarnated, whole, innocent, complete, pure. And we became like this unconsciously. Why unconsciously? Because we didn't know. Our awareness was not in that. We were growing, we were experiencing the world, we were learning. We didn't even know who we were. So we became like this unconsciously. And by us doing this work consciously, we're gonna boom, go back to this. The difference is that we're gonna do this consciously. We came to this unconsciously, but now it's our responsibility and our job to go to this consciously. Okay? Are we clear? Do you understand? Raise your hands if you understand, please. Yes. Okay, amazing. So, amazing, amazing, amazing. I love it. Let me leave this here. So, as I said, meditation and contemplation are amazing tools for going within, for exploring our inner world, for accessing our depth and finding what is there, right? I've had many meditation sessions that when I finish, like I'm just like sitting, and when I finish, I open my eyes because I was just focused on my breath, right? Everything that I was coming on, I saw it and came back to my breath. But when I finished the session, for some reason, I stayed seated in the same posture, but sometimes with eyes open, sometimes with eyes closed, but not focus on the breath anymore. And I allow everything to come, and I would see it. I would not stop it. I would not go back to the breath. And I remember abuses. I remembered horrible experience that my child version experienced, and I didn't remember. So this is something that comes up, you know, when you have the conscious intention to finding what is you have to be willing, and you need to be conscious about. I want to find what is in me. Do I have something that is stopping me? Do I have something that I'm not aware of that is heavy within me? When you set that intention consciously and you meditate and you contemplate, you may find a lot of things that you were not aware of. And I'm very sure that all of us ask that. Like all of the people that I have taught and the clients and friends and family, all of them had. So because we all came pure and clean and we had to experience the roughness of the world since a very young age. Okay, so we talked about meditation and we talked about contemplations as two tools that are very good for going in and finding what is there. Now, when it comes to releasing it, I try to do it in a fun way because I didn't got those in a fun way. I got those heavy things on a very nasty and painful way. So I'm like, I'm transmuted this. I am not doing this anymore like that because I'm conscious I need to have some fun with this. So music and dance are my two favorite tools to release anything that is inside of me that I don't like and also to express what I like. But at the same time, it's like, okay, bye. um, they're my favorites to release any baggage that I'm carrying. They allow me to express what I feel, channel my emotions into something tangible and transformative. It's an experience that really leaves me feeling lighter, freer, and more in tune with my true self. The truth is that when you're not aware, when you're releasing, you can be releasing it, but not to the root level. As I said before, you stay in the surface. Whatever is close to the surface will be released. But it's like the grass. You have grass, and then you come with a grass cutting machine and you cut all of the grass and you put it very, very tiny grass. It will keep growing because you didn't address the root. You didn't address the root. So it will keep growing. That's the same. When you workout is another way of releasing a lot. When you work out, dance, or do anything that allows you to release baggage and you are not aware of your baggage, you're working on the surface. It's still surface. It's still effective for the surface thing. But what you really want to go is deep and find those things, you know? It's very important that we are aware of these things because we really want to release this weight. We don't want to keep this within ourselves. I'm gonna say something to you that is really it might be really uncomfortable for some of us. Um, if you are overweight, if you are carrying weight that is not supposed to be there for the shape of your body, and you don't have hormones problems, and you don't have problems, or sometimes women use anti-concept to not get pregnant pills. If you don't have any of those things and you are carrying weight, you need to work this out. This is not normal. It's okay. I know it might feel weird someone to speak like that to you, but this is not normal. And it's part of your life, of course. You have to honor that and don't feel shame about yourself. Not at all. But it means that you have to go within and find what's there. Because for some, I think like for 3 years, no, for more, like for 6 years, I developed a lot of fat around my belly when I was a kid. And it's when I experienced the most shame. So every the part of my belly that is the lower belly start to get like kind of like inflamed and a lot of fat there. And I didn't understand why, because I was not eating uh very bad. Uh, it was all of that. As long as I started working this consciously, it started going away when the workouts. But I would work out before and it didn't go away. I would get muscle and it didn't go away. But when I addressed this issue of shame in my life, it started going away. And then I personally found the link between those things and how our body gets these traumas and experiences and emotions and attach it to it in a way that it's protecting you. It's like I'm gonna create this layer of protection between me and the rest of the world because I don't want to feel bad. I want to feel rejected. So body wants to protect you because body is for you to inhabit and to protect you here in this world. So it creates these layers of fat because fat is what the body can do the best to protect itself from the outer world. So I just want to bring this to you to be more aware of the how we carry the weight, like physical weight in fat, in our body. So we really want to release this weight because each one of us deserves freedom and deserves to walk a path in a light way. It's been enough of hardship. We grew up with very unconscious and we didn't know. We knew the best that we could, but it was hard for all of us, our lives since very young age. It didn't go fluid. I don't know anyone who told me, my life is being perfect since I was a kid. We had to experience those hardships. It's part of our us learning in Earth. It's the school. We have to know what duality is in this world and what harshness and separation is to go back to unity and oneness. So, because every day that we have, it offers us a new opportunity to be the truest versions of ourselves and to walk a lighter journey path, we have to do this work. And because also deep down, we aspire to that lightness that allow us to dance with life instead of fighting against life, Every gram of weight that we release is a step towards a freer, more fulfilling, authentic life. This is based on my experience, and this is what I always share with everyone. When we let go of the weight, we open ourselves to new possibilities and new opportunities as well. We are creating space for something new and different that is not the same habitual thing. We become more present, more aware, more connected, and more connected with ourselves and with others as well. So my invitation for every one of you, wherever you are right now, is to embark in this journey of liberation. It won't be easy. It will be very uncomfortable, but there will be times where you're gonna give up, but I promise you, it's worth it. Because at the end of the day, there is nothing more liberating than releasing the weight that you've been carrying for a long time and discovering that you've always been enough, just as you are. I invite you with all of my heart to explore your depth with courage and bravery, to recognize that the burdens that you've been carrying are there and now are good to be released one by one. And to remember that in this process of letting go, we discover who we really are and all of that we can become and achieve. Traveling light involves more than just getting rid of the physical burdens. It's about introspection and the release of the emotional and psychological loads that prevent us from moving forward into a living fully life. These elements, as I talked before, act as a barriers that stops us in our life and then anchor us and prevent us from enjoying the present and moving towards a more authentic and lighter life and future. It's very important to understand the root of our emotions, and only by working at the origin of these issues we can really achieve effective healing. Otherwise, we are on the surface. Through the release of these burdens, we can find a more authentic, lighter, freer, and full life. So this is my invitation for you. I always, with everything that I teach and share, I try to be short. I don't like to talk too much or to extend it's just straight to the point. This is what it said, like you need to do this, we need to do that. This is my experience. So to recap a little bit, because I also like to recap really quick, we know already about the weight that we're carrying. We have enough information to do this work. And once that you know, okay? This means that when you're conscious of something and you don't act upon it, it's up to you, because you know, and you have a part of yourself that is going to remind you every day that you know and you didn't do it. Because when you don't know, you don't know. You're a kid, but now you know. You know that you carry weight. You know that it affects you. You know that it's not healthy for your body, for your mind, for your being, for your spirit, for anyone. Spirit needs this body to work here. So everything has to be aligned with it. So we understand about, do we have a clear understanding of the weight and all of the weight that we might be carrying? Raise your hands if you do. Okay, I'm gonna take a couple of questions after, but before that, I wanna remember you that now we have this knowledge of all of these ways, and we have tools to process that. Okay, so the first two tools that I shared, it was meditation and contemplation. I often contemplate after meditation, so I usually meditate, and then when I finish my meditation practice, oh, look at all of these balloons. When I after my meditation practice, I stopped focusing on my breath, and then I take like 15 minutes to contemplate whatever comes to the surface and pay attention to it. That's what I do. So through these two practices, I can go deep within myself and find whatever is there. And then once that I find that, I go deep and I understand where it comes from. I create the links. I was like, okay, this comes from this. I understand the root of it. And I consciously decide that I no longer want to be driven or controlled by these things in my life. I understand where I am right now, and I don't want this anymore. Thank you. I want to release you. And then I use some tools to release that can change from person to person, individual to individual. I shared mine, which is dancing. I try to go very heavy dancing, like I do West African dance. So it's a very powerful, strong dance, like because I know that I'm getting rid of everything there. And also the singing, because through singing there is a lot going on coming out of me. I consciously use whatever I'm singing to release or to express something. Write songs that connect. I wrote a song about the shame, for example. I haven't released it yet, but I wrote it, and that was a way of releasing. But that comes after understanding what's going on within you, right? So I would like to, if anyone has some questions, I would like to address it. If you do, or want to add something, or if you want to share an experience of a way that you've been carrying, please, this is a safe space, and I will be happy to hear you out.
Yeah, please raise your hands. Yeah, Ambi.
Can you take care of unmuting everyone and everything?
Yeah, sure,
yes,
sure.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hi, Master. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I would like to, if you can more explain on contemplation. I need to grasp that word. What does that mean exactly? I understand a little bit, but I need to go more deeper in there. And I would like to grow in that. Thank you so much, Master.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
By the way, this is a great wisdom for me. I'm just learning a lot of, when you're saying lightweight and the carry that weight that I'm carrying it. I need to release it.
I understand. Yes. And you will, and you are already by doing this. Like you wouldn't be driven to come here today, even if you're part of a Reinvent Yourself or anything, if you were not ready and willing to do this work. So the fact that you are here is right now is because you, the real you, wants to do this work and will do this work. And I'm very happy that you're here and I honor you because, you know, sometimes when I see my mom, my dad, they don't do this work. They are completely unconscious in their lives, and I have to accept that. But when I see someone older than me doing with respect, doing this work, asking this question and showing up like this, oh my God, I feel so much admiration and honor and respect. So yes, yes, yes. Okay. Okay. So to answer your question, contemplation. For me, there are three. For me, there are three ways of dealing with these practices. One is meditation, one is contemplation, and one is concentration. These three are three different aspects of doing something inside, right? If we go to concentration, we can find a lot of martial arts in the East, for example, that are focused on a concentration of Tai Chi, of energy, of focus on the outside. It's mostly on the outside, but sometimes in the inside as well. That's for me concentration. And then you do something with this or not do something with it. We have meditation that we know what is it. Everyone knows what meditation is here. And we have contemplation. For me, contemplation is the art of looking anything out or inside with total attention, but not focused in the same way that we focus on breathing or meditation. It's more like an openness. It's more like I'm looking at this and letting it show itself, reveal itself, whatever wants to come. For me, is that contemplation is the art of looking at something that can be out or inside with total openness. Wow, look at this. With total openness of letting that thing to show itself without forcing it, without nothing else, just looking at it with openness. And when you do that with specific emotions or a specific weight that you carry, you're allowing that to tell you the story. You're allowing that to show itself, to reveal where it comes from. And this means that you don't have to do anything about it, like to understand it. You just have to see it, and it will show to you. It will show because it's there and it has a purpose and it has a specific energy. And it might come, most of the time, it will come with the feeling of it. So, for example, if it's shame, you might feel a lot of shame within you when you are contemplating something. But you have this conscious part of you that knows that this is normal. And I was just, the purpose of this is for me to feel this because otherwise it cannot get out of your system if you don't feel it. You have to feel it, you have to go through it. But instead of you being the victim of it, you now are conscious that, oh, this is part of the process, it's getting out, and I'm understanding. So I'm not looking at myself as a victim. I am now releasing this. And that's how I do. For me, that's contemplation. Was that clear to you, or you have more, or you need more?
No, I think I understand. Thank you.
Of course. No, thank you so much. Thank you. Any other question? Any other sharing? If anyone wants to share a story about themselves, please. I love that. Masters. Okay. Harika Kurnala. Harika. Harika or Harika? Harika Kurnala raised hands. Hi.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was a really wonderful session, and when I'm looking at you, I could feel that love and energy is that oneness that is coming out. It was really wonderful listening from you, sir, master. I don't have anything to express, nor I have any questions, because everything that you spoke was pretty clear, and that you are and how Ambiji asked, like the process of contemplation, that was really that helped. It's like thinking through that whole process, how to do it. It was really wonderful. I just wanted to thank you. Yeah, I want all others also to open up and talk. Maybe because it's English, people are uh, people are thinking.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. How old are you? May I ask?
Yeah, sure. I don't mind. I am 38. I live in New Jersey. I have 2 kids, and I live with my husband. I'm a working professional. I am with PSSM since 2020. I have started my journey. I'm a professional singer since my childhood, but I started meditating, the proper meditation, Anapanasati meditation in 2020. Since then, I have not stopped. It's been a very beautiful journey. So the first thing that all of us will experience is a better health. So I cured my thyroid, I cured my spondylitis, I cured my sciatica. These are just regular things, but the best thing that I have had is the freedom from all these worldly attachments. I would not say not even attachments. It's like all the problems that we do, or all those things that we think are problems. They're not problems for us. Especially people who are coming from India to the US. They have we have a lot of house help there in India. We get a lot of support in India with parents and all. But people who come here, we don't we have to do the whole thing, right? We have to go do job. We should also do daily chores, take care of the kids. We are not brought up like how the kids are brought up here independently. So we have to do, especially ladies, we should do the whole chores for the family. So if I'm sure like every woman will feel that burden when they come here, that they have to do a lot of things. They have to cook, they have to do, but eventually you get used to it. That's a different thing, but you are free from it. It's not like a problem to you anymore.
Absolutely.
That freedom from, oh, this is something that I have to do, or I don't feel that responsibility. That is where I'm very grateful for meditation and for Patriji and PSSM. Also about the relationships, I really want to explain. Like all of us have definitely problems with in-laws and all your relationships close by with your friends. So coming into meditation gave me that release from all these problems. I don't have any complaints, like what Patricia says. I don't have any complaints. I don't have any judgments. I don't have any expectations. No complaints, no judgments, no expectations.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And
thank you so much.
yeah, when you
Yes,
spoke
please.
about the weight, I want to tell you about the weight. Of course, I was around 160 or 172 pounds before I started meditation. Now I'm 120, and I have not done anything consciously, not even diet, but it just happened.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Of course. Thank you so much for your sharing. So when it comes
Okay,
to,
you were about.
I want to add something about Anapanasati meditation, because when we are receiving this amount, extremely big amount of cosmic energy, this energy goes to where it needs to go and address what it needs to address. So everything that I'm saying is parallelly to this. It's still um, it's still taking into account what this meditation. Remember, most of the people out there don't meditate, right? But I'm speaking specifically this way to you because you know what we're talking about. So when all of this cosmic energy is coming within, it's doing what it needs to be done. You don't need to worry about it. But I believe in our consciousness. I believe that everything that we do in this planet has to come from a very conscious action, like being aware of what you're doing. So that's why all of my work is focused on the conscious part of it, right? And knowing that you don't have to, for example, knowing that you don't have to get worried of how everything is happening, as you said, because you're meditating. It's a conscious act because you are consciously deciding to not get worried about it because you consciously know that it's going to be resolved. But this is deep and this is a layer that not everyone has. So we share this because we are doing this work. Hi, because we're doing this work. But it's very important to be aware of that. I believe in knowing because I have to know myself. We're here to also know who we are and understand the layers of what makes us us. So for me to be able to know this, I have to go within and find all of the trauma and everything that I've been through, and analyze it with love and compassion, and being able to understand why I developed this shame, or why I developed this anger. By the way, quick note, thank you so much for your sharing. I appreciate it. So, 1 second. Okay, yes. So if you or any of you are or have experienced anger, if anger is something that is being within your system, that you have developed for some reason, I have a very practical tool, very practical, like not spirit, that doesn't look spiritual at all, which is boxing. Boxing. If you get a boxing a punching bag, and couple of gloves, and you every day for 10-15 minutes just hit that. You don't even have to think about it. Just the act of doing that. There is something about this movement in the system, this movement active, that engages the release of heavy things within yourself. There's something about this physiologically. Science has to catch up with that, have to understand what's going on. But in the same way, have you ever seen a bird? I've seen doves. When I'm gonna tell a story. Do I have time to share a small story, like 2 minutes? Yes. Okay. Is everyone okay? Yes. Okay. So once I was in the beach and I saw a squirrel that came into the nest of the doves and start eating the eggs. And I was, oh, don't eat the eggs. I was very young and I was very emotional. So don't eat it. And then the dove came to defend the eggs, right? And the squirrel killed the dove. They start fighting and the dove came dead. So the partner of the dove came flying and saw the whole show and went to the dead body of the partner and saw that it was dead, and went to the nest and saw there was no eggs, and came back to the floor and started doing like this for like a minute. Consciously, I saw it. Maybe it was like a response, natural response of it, but it was start doing this movement, and then it left like nothing happened. For me, it was shocking. I didn't understand by the time what was going on there, but then I understood that there is a release that needed to happen of that strong thing. And he did it. He did it, or it did it. So that's what I'm talking when I mean like there has to be a release. Even though the energy is coming up and it's clearing what it needs to be clearing, there has to be a release. We need to work out, we need to dance, we need to move, we need to be active about this. Okay? Okay. Let's take someone wants to come. I think someone wants to share. Please, you're welcome. Hi, Shirish Rep. Did I say it well?
Yeah. Yes, that's right.
Hi, brother.
Thank you. It was really wonderful, conversation we are having now, and you actually nailed down very sensitive part of our living being. And we capture a lot of learning that is traditional and a lot of value. And I don't know, I mean, I really don't know that everybody feels the transition from the past life and coming to this world and experiencing the newer environment. It's like getting into the new office that you work for and trying to understand everybody's emotions. And naturally, we are not ready to adapt to it because it's a transition. And there is going to be differences, value system and everything. When you say you're cleaning those emotional impressions of extremities, that's okay. But then emotion is the source of a lot of knowledge that we capture. And we repulse, or we do not agree on a lot of emotions that we capture as a learning. Even the education system that we have is kind of very much a militarized system, right? We do not have a lot of freedom to choose what you want to learn, right? How do you think that cleanup process would help us to balance it and smoothing out our emotional framework?
Could you explain yourself a little bit more? I would like, I didn't get it completely. I want to make sure that I get it completely.
Yeah. So if you see, right, when you have a clean water, right, I would say it's a pre-enlightened person, right? Or you can even say not not mixed up with impurities of this world, right? That also can be said. But when we come, we come from, it's like as if we are coming to a new room with all kind of different decorations, and each of those elements are more of emotional impressions on us. We are all about emotions when we are a child. We cry, we love, we cry, whatever we see, we try to learn. We have unconditional love. We absorb everything unconditionally, right? Accept the parents as they are, right? And all we have is a love for them. And everything that we see, when I remember my childhood, and I can go back in time with my practice, I was able to absorb, and I was taking everybody as my mother and everybody as my father, right? And there was no distinguish. We did not discriminate anybody, right? And everything was divine when we were born, right? But at the same time, we learn everything as divine, which was not true anyways, because we know now that it was not. It was just they're also learning. We are also learning, right? Everybody's learning, and we have built up a traditional system by those half-baked knowledge, right? And it is not a perfect. We have to perfect ourselves, and everybody is going through the learning process. And toxic events or emotions are definitely need to be cleaned up. But how would you balance it out from the toxicity to the purity? You don't want to go to the zero. You still want to keep some knowledge, right? If you go to zero, you will unlearn everything. And the reason you are born is to learn and progress further. You have to express and deal with those emotions, get you above that emotions, and then you become neutral to that. So keeping that neutrality and also the learning from these emotions, right? How would you balance it out? I know, like, see, for example, as an Hindu, there are certain things that we follow as a framework of understanding and learning this world, right? And as well, there is a framework that we need to learn when you're born, right? We do not want to unlearn that. certain things we want to learn, certain things want to really do not give importance. We cannot really forget everything, but we can only give not enough, it is not a end of the world, right? If your parents or whatever emotions have happened, how do you balance them out? You are not going to
I
lose,
understand. I
right?
understand. I understand. Thank you. Thank you so much for explaining. Well, first of all, I wanna give a personal note. For me, unlearn doesn't exist the way that I see it. Once you know, you know. Unuse exists. So something that you are using, you stop using consciously, that's unuse for me. But you learned something, it's there, and it will be there. So, and it's supposed to stay there, so you know that what is it, so you don't go back to it if you don't want to, or if you go back to it if you want to. So for me, making that annotation, for me, that's why I say that we have to go deep, and that's why I say that we have to go within in a way that allow us contemplate everything that is coming, or any specific emotion or whatever is there, to really look clearly and find the root of it. When you find the root of it, you understand it. You understand why you created it within yourself. And when you understand that you make the click, oh, I did this because of this, I created this because of that, you change the narrative, right, of it, and it kind of becomes the after effect of it. It's like, it's now your friend. Because I'm going to use myself as an example, the shame, right? All of this shame that I developed, that is in my past, doesn't affect me anymore, because now the way that I rewire my brain around it is like, every time that I see something that I would trigger that shame, now it reminds me of my wholeness and my beauty and my divine, the divine in me. So it's like I stopped the process of the shame taking over by understanding where it comes from. That came from a child that was not accepted for who he was. But now, for me, I am the most amazing thing in the world. I am the best. I hold divinity and humanity in a way that is beautiful for me, right? So this doesn't apply to me anymore. I don't have to develop. I'm not developing more shame. But the triggers may still come in, because you, as I said, you cannot unlearn it. It's still there. It's there within yourself. But you are not letting that taking control of you, your system, because you don't feel the same way anymore. But still somehow you feel the trigger or the space. I don't know how to explain it in words, but sometimes you feel like a specific space within you, that you know this is the same place where shame always been. And when I have that, I just go to, I love myself so much, and I go to like this reminder of how whole I feel right now, and I see the progress, and I honor that part of me. Because in the overview effect, when you see it in the big perspective, and you find the perfection of that shame in my journey, I can see that it was perfect for me to learn how to love myself, and to learn how to become whole enough so I don't feel shame anymore about myself. So it taught me something. Yes, it comes with wisdom. We have to go through it, and we have to feel everything when we were shy, whenever that happened. But now that I hold this consciousness around it, I understand what is it, and I see it as a gift, as a wisdom. That's how I live balanced. I live balanced by learning from the emotions and learning from the trauma. But to be able to do so, you have to go within. You have to go to the core of the trauma. Otherwise, we stay in the surface, and we never know we're working the surface level only. I don't know if this answers your question.
Yeah, I think you are getting close. The thing is, I was asking more of discrimination between the negative learning that you have, like for you are learning from an event where your parents are fighting, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're learning from something that is you are not understanding the reasoning behind, right? There's a lot of noise that basically gets imprinted in the small mind, like infant or little mind, and then it's trying to reason it out, and then he's just not happy the way the parents are fighting, right? So
Mm-hmm.
this way he can conclude any constructive learning from that event. See, this is happening in every house in this United States or anywhere in the world, right? The parents are going to nag, they are going to fight, kids are going to be impacted, and they are impacted. Unfortunately, we cannot address the emotion, right?
Mm-hmm.
In fact, there is no convincing factor or even responsibility that is happening with the parents, understanding the kid's situation, right? In fact, it
Mm-hmm.
goes against it. Now, as a kid, that we were once upon a time, we
Mm-hmm.
had that experience all the time, right? And now to learn even debates, right? The kids get into confusion when they are not understanding the debate and getting the natural learning from it. We have to have some what do you call viveka buddhi in Indian vivek, that is a discrimination to understand what is good and bad, right? And
Discernment.
that's why
Discernment.
discernment. So that is
Uh-huh.
the thing that has to be executed at some level of consciousness to filter out the good and negative part of it. What?
Yeah, in your present moment, like
Yes.
in the moment that you can be conscious of that. Because when
Mm-hmm.
you were a kid, right, you were not.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You could not. You could not.
Yep. Yep. You're right. You're absolutely right on that. Because as a kid, you cannot, because you don't have a depth of that. And in the meditative state also, and when we select the emotions, what I think the light is the right thing, and to get an understanding of the self and why you are in that particular event. There is a reason behind that event. Even you at
You mean the light? Sorry, excuse me. Excuse me. Sorry to interrupt. You said the light? Light?
yes, light.
Like
The
the
will.
a contract of the shadow.
No, I mean a light in the sense of knowledge.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay. When you are in enlightenment zone and you are like opening the doors of your wisdoms, right? And an event is going to give you a key for that knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
even if that is a negative event, is a password for a
Mm-hmm.
wisdom to get opened up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All the negativity that you are perceiving are the keys without the lock.
Mm-hmm.
The lock is inside you, filled up with the knowledge. When you have a light coming in, those keys can be enabled to open that lock. Every event is giving you millions of enlightening experiences, so that you witness and learn from yourself why that has happened, why my mother and my father was fighting, because there is something that I need to learn from.
Absolutely. And that's thank you. And that's um for me in my case, it's like sometimes I don't really well, sometimes you really ended up experiencing the same thing they experienced, just for you to understand that. So life takes you to uh, through those experiences so you can understand, because you judged your parents when you were a kid. You didn't understand why they separate you. You felt guilty, but you also judged them, and you created anger unconsciously. You didn't know that, but you were creating anger because they were splitting up, and now you're not gonna see you're not gonna be in your environment anymore, and all of this, blah blah blah. So life had its own way to make you understand that by situating you in experiences that allowed you to go through a similar experience of what they were going through, So, and basically what it ended up is just like they were just doing the best that they can. They didn't know any other. They were not conscious of it, right? So, but the fact that you are able to see this now, it's allowing you to not recreate it in your experience anymore. So if you become a parent, or dog or whatever thing that is it, that you bring into your life, a creation, whatever, you don't do like that anymore because you try to be more conscious of the effect of everything that you're doing for your kid, because you understand that the brain and the system of the kid doesn't understand more than is not in your mind. It doesn't know what you are. It doesn't understand you. You have to go to their level so they can understand. So for example, what would have changed everything for me if any of my parents would come to me before the separation and they would tell me, listen, I want to talk to you, even as a kid, with the adult words. I am not feeling good with your father anymore. We're having problems, and I don't want to live like this anymore. I don't feel like happy, and I don't want you to be unhappy seeing all of these fights, because I was seeing the fights, right? So we decided to end the relationship and keep as friends, because they kept as friends. This conversation in the consciousness of the mind, even if the kid could not understand it, at that moment still there, and it will understand some reason. I would recall it right now as I was growing up if they would have it. But no, in my case was like, we're living, they spoke everything, they arranged everything. My mom has another rent, and she took me the day of the rent, and I was like, what is happening here? I'm leaving my house with bags, and I'm not gonna see this family anymore. So that's traumatic, right? So mostly, as I said, most of the times, life takes us to the experience that makes understand our parents. And when you do that, you don't judge them actually, because they were doing the best that they can. And also you find the wisdom there, because now you understand the importance of being conscious of whatever you're doing to your kids, what the consequence of your actions, the consequence of your behaviors for a kid, right? So there's wisdom there, and that's the gift for me. That's how I see it.
Yeah,
Thank you
absolutely.
so much for this beautiful session. And sorry, but we have to conclude the session now. But really, really, Nilo, you have done amazingly, giving that transformation to us. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have an amazing rest of the day, or if you're going to sleep. Yes. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here, for showing up for yourselves. This is one of the most beautiful examples of self-love that I know. When I see someone showing up for themselves, it's like, yes, like sometimes it takes so much from people to show up. But I honor that in you. I honor everyone here. Shalini, I love you. I miss India so much. I hope to come this year again. India is in my heart forever. It was always in my heart, and I didn't know it until I went. Thank you,
I'm in
everyone.
Sweden. I'm not in India.
Yes, Sweden too. I love Sweden. I've been there and I love it.
Yeah, Nilo,
Oh,
how one can reach you? Do we have any social media link or your website or something?
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, well, most of my community, the work that I'm doing is in Spanish, because I was born in Cuba. I live now in the United States a lot of years ago, but my community, the one that I'm working on right now, is in Spanish. So in my social media, you will find a lot of Spanish. But you're welcome, because now Instagram and Facebook has translators, so you can just see what I'm talking about. And you can find me anywhere as Nilo del Monte, the same way it was on the flyer, Nilo del Monte. You can find me in Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. You can listen to my music in Spotify and Apple Music, all of it. And feel free to reach out to me too as well. Send me a message if you were in this session and you tell me I was in the session, and we can talk about it. If you have any questions, so much love. I'm here to be of service. So use that service.
Great.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
again, Nilo, for a wonderful session. Thank you. It was very inspiring and informative session.
Of course.
Unfortunately, we are at the end of the session now. Thank you all for being here. We have another session today at 9 p.m. EST with Lisa Richards. Hope to see you all there. Thank you. Thank you again.
Thank you, Masters.